What is going on, guys? This dealer here back again with yet another RDX podcast. We cover all the latest and greatest. Fuck it, you guys know. Hey, we're going to get to the panel, of course, the introductions. We've got, we got some really, really good topics today. And apparently we've already made some people mad by talking about the whole Xbox potentially buying a Sony known developer. Some upset fucks already. So, hey, Colt, what have you been up to, bud? Welcome to the show.
Boom, boom, kaboom. It's Colt Eastwood in the room.
Shout out to New.
No. It's good to be here. A lot of stuff to talk about. So, yeah, Microsoft's been moving.
Yeah, they've been moving. Movers and shakers, they say. Mm-hmm. Hey, we've also got D-Batch, brother. What have you been up to?
What's up, man? Just been playing a lot of games lately, which is a change. I've been stuck home with the newborn baby for the last few days. So, yeah, I'm getting through some games, man. Can't wait to get into the topics tonight.
Good shit. We've also got So Shady at the, what is it? So the fucking glue factory shady now. What'd you change it to?
Yeah. I was going to say, fun isn't something one considers when bringing balance to these console fanboy wars. But being on RDX every week, woo, brings a smile to my face, boys. Let's get this fucking show going.
I thought you were going to say it turned you into a fucking dog, but all right. Hey, we've also got Zalker, the newest member of RDX, in case you guys don't know. Of course you do. What's going on, bud?
Nothing much, man. Just playing games, hanging out with you fine folks and everybody in the chat. It's good to be back on. We have some badass topics, including Sony not being able to hold on to devs. What?
I don't know. I mean, is it the case, or maybe we just only have 100 characters for the title, and we got to put shit how we got to put it, right? I don't know. Which one is it? We have to talk about it. We've also got Titan Drago. A good friend of ours. We had him on forever ago, and he's gone off and slain some bitches and got a little bit of experience, and he's back, new and improved, deep throating the mic on the avatar picture. What's going on, bud?
New and improved Titan Drago. What's up? Boom, boom, kaboom. I'm Titan in the room, too. So I've been on a podcasting rampage of late. I've been on Breakfast with Boom. I'm on TSGP, and I told the dealer this, and he was like, he apparently believes me because he invites me on without giving me a topics list.
Yep.
So I'm literally winging it, but that's okay.
It's a true test, Drago. You just got to wing it, bro.
It is the way it is sometimes. The content on my YouTube channel is struggling, life, this and that, and all these games I want to play.
I'm just gonna keep it 1,000 with you. You're going on too long right now, brother.
I had to trigger you once, man.
Hey,
you didn't even let me trigger you.
We do want to say thanks for joining us, bud. We got a bunch of good topics today. And as usual, we'll kind of go around the room and bounce back and forth. And we'll let people stream into the room as we kind of warm up to the topics, the good stuff. But we do got to give a shout out to, of course, the patron sponsors who always have our backs here. And that is, of course, Gucci duffel bag. We've got, well, hang on. Let me get my thing working here because it just decides not to. Gucci duffel bag. We've also got Prime Suspect. We got Michael Bohm. We've got Channing Pennington. We've got Guillermo Cavillo, we got Lethal Papa, we got the Darge Knight, and we got Robert Prather. You guys rock. If you want to become a sponsor, check that link down below. And we've got all kinds of cool opportunities there on Patreon. And also, we're giving away another copy of Battlefield 5 this upcoming month, as well as 14. It's up to 14 games now, so tons of stuff there. Hey, Fall 76 update. Shady. This game has gone through hell, crawled back out of its own ass, and it's back alive. But there's all kinds of stuff going on here. We got people saying the hate's not warranted, which obviously, any game that's not finished at launch, there should be hate for it. There should be some backlash, in my opinion. We don't benefit by damage controlling. But here's the weird thing. Apparently, they lied to some of their consumers about the quality of some of the collector's edition goods or one of the collector's edition goods. They sent the high-quality stuff out to the big YouTubers, and the little peasants got the little shitty stuff. Explain that situation real quick. It kind of just be let the people stream in.
Yeah, it was the $200 Fallout edition, I believe, and it came with what was supposed to come with a canvas backpack along with the helmet in the game and a few other items. This is what the site had said. They used the term canvas on the site for a long time and in the picture. And then they eventually changed it to just a nylon bag on the site. And that's all they gave as a heads up was just a little text change. The picture stayed the same. All the YouTubers and other trendsetters of the world, they got the nice canvas bag, but everyone else that plopped down their money got this shitty nylon bag with theirs, which of course is garbage. I mean, you're supposed to be getting what you paid for. These people are right to be upset about that. I have an issue with the people that are making it sound like the only reason they bought $200 version is for this bag. Please, let's tone it the fuck down here. Like, that's unrealistic. You have every right to be upset, but don't make it look like that's the only reason you got this damn thing. So I mean, they did
crawl inside the bag as they played the game wearing the power armor helmet. Like, why?
Oh yeah, no, those other things, they doesn't even matter. They weren't going to play the game. It's a broken piece of trash. You know.
Did you just?
And then you look like.
Go ahead, Dave.
What's that?
Sorry, did you just say that some people actually got the original bag they were supposed to
The
get?
big YouTubers got
big
it.
That's right.
YouTubers did.
Yeah.
Or the
Wow.
unboxing.
Influencers got the actual bag. Yeah.
So like
I mean,
Dealer and Colt
Bethesda's-
got it, you know.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah. The reason Bethesda gave for the bag change was that the material wasn't available for them, which could be, maybe they couldn't find the canvas necessary. Likely they just didn't want to spend the money and thought they could get away with it. They
Todd
didn't.
Howard used all the material to build his next set of E3 suits, maybe, or
I got our refunds. That's what we got.
oh, yeah.
It was like,
Good.
as consumers, we can't let these companies get away with stuff, but we got to keep our quote unquote outrage a little bit more realistic. Don't make it look like that was the only reason we did something, because it's a little bit ridiculous, if you will. The game itself, I haven't played it in a while, actually, because I just wasn't having a very good time with it, to be honest. It wasn't the co-op Fallout that I was looking for, but it is nice to see that they are going hard on trying to make the game more enjoyable and playable for those fans that do play the game. So I like to see that. It's good moves from a company that had a lot of fingers pointed at it.
Yep, a lot of fingers pointed in it. Hey, we're not going to stay on the subject forever. Colt, stop. We're not going to stay on the subject forever. But like I said, it is a lovely subject. So just a quick recap. They promised a bunch of shit in the collector's edition. You got that stuff. It's $200. But the material, the big bag, the big heavy-duty bag, whatever, was supposed to be a much better quality. They sent that quality material out to the big YouTubers for unboxings and videos. And like I said, the peasants, the rest of us, we got bags made out of trash, basically. So, stuff like that. It's so stupid and simple, but when you're promised one thing, you pay for it, and then it arrives and it's nylon, that could be an issue. Like that's a little fucked up, a little bit, D. I mean, I know it's simple, but what are your thoughts real quick?
You know what you advertise is what you should deliver to the customer. Like, I remember years ago, I got a Grand Theft Auto set, and it came with like a little safety deposit box that was metal. Now, imagine if they gave me that safety deposit box and it was like plastic or some cardboard. I'd be quite pissed off for the money that I spent on that.
Now, imagine that they did give the big metal safety deposit boxes out to the big YouTubers to unbox and show off, but then they sent you the plastic one.
Imagine that. Thankfully, that didn't happen. Rockstar, I think, is a much better company, so they did deliver on what they promised. But the bottom line is deliver on what you promised. You didn't deliver on the game, and not even on the pre-ordered for like the super fans. You didn't even deliver for them. That's
no. And a quick correction here. Shout out to Jay Fonzarelli in the chat. He says that the influencers actually got a better bag than originally advertised. Their bag was the shit.
God,
so I mean, there's that. My God.
Yeah, that's fucked up, Jay. What was it made of? Fucking Kevlar? Here, wear this. Yeah, just go to Warzone. Yeah, that's really odd to me. Any final thoughts on this before we move on to something people give a fuck about?
I just think I'm glad they actually righted it. A lot of these companies just turn the other way and wait for the heat to die down. I was surprised Bethesda actually stepped up and said they're going to make it right. It's going to cost them a bunch of money, and they deserve it.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully this last patch fixed the object loading issues within the game world before they send these bags out. That's all I got to say.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I think if the game was received better, the bag thing wouldn't have been that big of an issue, but the bag is like atrociously ugly. I don't know if you guys have seen pictures of it. It's just ugly, but also the game is just ugly, and it just plays terribly. And they brought out a patch that fixes the frame rate drops in cities. So a couple people are like, oh, that's cool. And they're happy about it. But like I said, man, it just failed on every level, even to the point of the damn trash bag they gave out. Like, how bad can you get? Like, what
That's
the
icing
shit?
on the cake, ain't it?
Yeah.
You put it in the dryer and it melts.
I was going to say,
If you see the bag that they were advertising, it actually is pretty cool looking. Like, and how are you going to slip that by? Like, just take the black trash bag, spray paint it, throw it in there, we're good. And it's like the bag that you're advertising looked pretty damn cool. And then people were like taking pictures of it. Like, what the hell is this?
Now, Jay on the super chat says he's a big fan of Bethesda. Keep in mind, Bethesda, they're still, even now, among the elite, in my opinion. They've always done pretty good work. He says he's a big fan of their games, but until they deliver on the next engine, and a better experience. He's kind of done with their stuff, and that's understandable. You would be happy to hear that they are working on a new engine, which is great. That Elder Scrolls 6 shot was on a new engine. They said they weren't even going to start work on that until they had a new engine, and they've got it. So they got a really good technology team now with id. So I'm hoping for the best, man. I'm a big Fallout fan, and I hope that they get their shit together. Shady, one last thing. What were you saying?
Oh, I just wanted to say I would expect that bag to come before a bunch of huge quality of life improvements, just because of the fake, well, not fake, but exaggerated outrage. Bethesda thinks the only reason people bought this game is for the bag. I mean, I'm joking. They will fix the game.
Hey, there was a helmet too. The helmet was more legit, by the way.
No, that was the helmet the YouTuber showed you. Yours is made of toothpicks. Shout out to getting up close to 400 people watching already, guys. We do appreciate it. Hit that like button, share this wherever you share things. Let's try to get the 300 likes. So say 300 likes for the end of the show. It's not too hard. Reach down there, finger bang that little thumbs up button. We do appreciate it. As Zalker kind of gives us some information on EA, send a few squirts of piss your way about Battlefield 5. What's going on with EA taking shots again? And I know there's two sides of the story. We're not going to get into it, but this did happen. It's a thing. Zalker made a video about it. What's the deal there?
Yeah, they apparently put up at their launch party, all the developers got together right at EA, and they had a launch party with a big screen saying hashtag Battlefield for everyone's Battlefield or something. And then they had quotes of all the hate they got from the fans. Like some of them were racist quotes, other ones were just messed up quotes.
So they're at like a wine and dine away from the public. It's a private thing. And they've got a projector, Battlefield 5, everyone's Battlefield. And there's no
media were there. Media
were there.
Yeah, they said they had media types there, and the media took pictures of it and posted it, and they can see, like, they're like, oh, at the event, and then people are like, are you reading the quotes on the screen, kind of? And it's about, like, it's all the quotes they got, like, did my grandpa go to storm Normandy Beach for this crap? Like, they had quotes like that on there. And a bunch of stuff, like, just completely disrespecting, like, the fan base. And then not to mention, like, lumping everybody into, because they did get some extremists, yelling racist stuff at them, right? Or sexist stuff. And it's like you're lumping all these people together with actual people that cared about history or had, like, a few problems with them.
So I'm confused. Like Colt, real quick, why do you think that they would do this? Why do you think they would take quotes from people talking about their grandfather in the war and stuff and kind of be, I don't know, like, what do you call that? Seems odd.
It almost seems like they're just trying to generate some kind of, I don't know, some kind of buzz or controversy. I don't know what in the heck they're doing.
It's fucking working.
I guess. Yeah. I mean, Zucker made a video.
Yeah, and Soderfield, the guy Soderfield said that, it's hard to have a conversation with the uneducated people that don't know. So he's basically calling the fans uneducated on the history of World War II.
Well, it's not only like uneducated, but people need to grow up and like separate life from video games more often. Like this, that's what. Go ahead. The lore.
No, I get that. Like I get it, but I understand that there's people that are extremists and they're like going so crazy, and it's just like, wow, what the hell are you talking about? But then there's other people that are like, oh, the bionic arm, I don't really want that. Like, can you just make it a little more authentic? Like, there's people like that. Like
that's simply just a prosthetic arm. There's nothing bionic about it. And there was guys with prosthetic arms that actually, I mean, they're in World War II pictures holding guns. They fought. Some countries didn't have the biggest and best fighters. I mean, they dealt with what they had. There was women fighters, not at the level that this game showed at all. I am not a fan of the inclusive narrative along here. The idea that it's just a video game, that's fine. I still bought the game. I love the game because it's just a video game. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. But I thought the narrative was absolutely stupid. By all means, put them in the game, but to have them front and center in a 90% of the marketing material. I mean, there was trailers out. I didn't know what the fuck war was being fought. White men were only on the German side and apparently got taken down by women and a bunch of minority groups. It looked ridiculous to the point where it was just kind of like, what the fuck game is this? What war is this? And I think that was a misstep on their part. But this whole event, it was private. I don't know what media was there or what their purpose of it was. But this is a bunch of developers sitting around venting.
Yeah, it is. And it's their launch party. They're celebrating their game. What happened?
That's right. They're celebrating their game, which the community is slaying after 3 hard, long years of work. And this is a bunch of guys just venting. We've all worked in places where you talk shit about the customer when they're not around. This is reality here. I don't think anything was done wrong at EA, to be honest. I think it's just, again, the public grouping themselves with a bunch of things. They didn't say, and everyone who's a fan of the game is a bigot or a sexist or whatever the fuck. They just said, these are the quotes that we got and we saw. Check it out. They're pretty extreme. I don't feel grouped in that at all. And I do have a
fuck y'all. They start shooting guns at me.
Well, that's just it. Like I said, I have a strong opinion on the matter, and I don't feel lumped in at all, to be honest. So I have no problem with what they've said or done. This is a private function.
Yeah, but
they can do what they want.
the point is, Shady, is that they're fueling the basically the controversy.
They aren't, though. It was a
but they are. And it's
function.
not private if the media is there and the media can take pictures. It's not private.
Like I said, what was the media? I just
that's what this article say. That's how they're out there. Multiple media sites have reported on it, and they have the pictures.
It sure looked like it was just. It looked like an EA employee took a couple pictures with his cell phone and he set them out. That's what it looks like to me.
Well, I'm going to put it this way. I don't think it's smart. I don't think it's smart for EA. After they delayed it for a month, they had a lot of backlash coming in, a lot of heat, to the point that everybody I know that's even casual knows about the heat, that they're going to start doing this when the heat kind of died down. Like, it was a done story. It was over. The game launched positive. I mean, the game launched very positively. A lot of people like it. We all like it in here. Like, why bring up old shit to just what? For what? It doesn't. It just seems petty.
Yeah,
I don't think I think the media being there is being overblown by this article. The media, quote unquote, whatever that is. I mean, it wasn't like IGN was there. Destin Gary, you know what I mean? I really think this is a private function. Devs are having a good time. They're venting a little bit, and that's that. Like I said, I don't group myself into the comments that they were putting up there. I don't feel victimized in any way. And hold on. If anything, I congratulate EA on doubling, even tripling down on their message. This is the game that they wanted to make, whether we agree with it or not. They made it. They don't owe us anything. So kudos to them for doubling down on the message that they want to tell, whether I like it or not. I like that about a company.
So that's Shady side. Yes, Shady side of the story there. Now let's get to someone else. Zalker, go ahead and hurry the fuck up and say what you're going to say, and then we can...
What I'm going to say this is, I don't want the story for this game to be about the politics. I want it to be about the damn game, because me and Dealer, we played a lot of hours on it. You've played with us and we had a fucking great time. It's a great game. It looks amazing. And I don't want the narrative to be all about this damn controversy. I want it to be about how good the damn game is. That's what I want. I want it to be about gaming.
Yeah. And I
no doubt, but that's on EA to begin with.
There's only one smart way to go about this, and it's to never bring that up again. You know, the sales are, Zalker's right. I mean, there's no other answer here. Don't bring the shit up again if you don't have to, and they didn't have to, but at the end of the day, who gives a shit? Like, it's out. If you want to play it, if you played it, I mean, the game looks fucking phenomenal. D, you've messed with Battlefield a little bit. Kind of give us your 2 cents here before we move on to another topic.
Honestly, I can't understand the hate that this game is getting. I don't understand why it's not selling better than it should be. I think the game is far superior to Call of Duty. I'm just being outright honest, and I have hours and hours in Call of Duty. Just the gun mechanics, just the way it feels, the realism of the graphics, the performance is outstanding, especially with all those players on the screen. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, those maps are pretty big. Like, some of the maps, I'll admit, are a little bit repetitive. I know they're going to be adding some more maps, but overall, I think it's a great game. I think people just want to see the world burn, man. This is such a sensitive generation that people find shit to complain about. I know we're going a little bit off course here, but I'll give you an example. What's his name? Michael Rapport, is that his name? The comedian, the Italian guy. He was making fun of like this cat on Instagram. This cat that looks funny. He says, "Oh, the cat looks like my mom." Cat had like big bulgy eyes. They actually removed his video saying that he's cat shaming. My point is, this generation, people are just too fucking sensitive, man. Like, honestly,
cats are adorable.
Hang on, like the International Cat Federation removed his video. Who removed it?
I have no idea, but it's so ridiculous. Like, the things that people complain about. Like, the game launched well. It was not broken. It was as advertised. It looks fantastic, plays even better. What are you complaining about? It's a fucking video game. If you really want to experience World War II, build a time machine and go back in it, and let's see how that turns out.
Thank you. Sounds good. Hey, D, speaking of watching the world burn, EA's World, I got some gasoline for that fire. The expansion that's coming out tomorrow, it's not coming out tomorrow. They found a last last second problem and had to inevitably delay it. They said it shouldn't be long, but yeah, no free DLC tomorrow for Battlefield 5. If you were looking forward to that,
Slash
you'll be waiting longer.
No final quarter of the campaign. You know, it's
I think that the bug that they found it's related somehow to the ray tracing, because they improved ray tracing performance, and I think when they added that, they that's when they found the bug. That's why it's delayed. So hopefully it'll be cleared up soon. I think they did say it'll be out shortly. So hopefully by the weekend, or at the latest next week Tuesday, we'll get it.
My diabolical plan is coming into shape. Like, the game is selling horribly, and so I think that's gonna push their battle royale. It's gonna push that a little harder to the free side when it releases. So that's I'm not buying it.
I'm not buying it. The game selling horribly. I know it's like half of Battlefield 1, but keep in mind Battlefield 1 was like the best selling Battlefield ever or some shit, right?
And that was retail again. That's always getting put out, is the retail's down. But I mean, retail is going to go down. Digital is going up. Retail is going down. That's the pattern. But I mean,
do that. Let's like, can't we all group all the sales together just for fucking, like, give us a break?
Here's my deal though. If you're down 50% physically, you're inevitably, because digital isn't rising that fast.
63%.
That's right. That's correct there. But I don't think that the drop in digital would be as high. I bet you it's just because that's the headlines clickbaity, so that's why they do it. I'm saying
that it does show a trend that sales interest overall is down, and I think we all feel that from the reception of the game. And Battlefield 1 had a ton of hype and all that stuff, and this one's kind of the opposite. But anyways, I'm Colt. You want to wrap this up? Real quick. Anybody? Colt?
I was over it when they first started talking about it. Like,
okay, guy, perfect. You did the best job you could have done. Hey, Shady. Give us this Game Pass article information real quick. This is big because big major developers are finally seeing repercussions of Game Pass. And of course, hardcore Xbox guys listen to this show, and I'm sure you guys are interested how this is working out for Microsoft, how you're benefiting, and why, certain publishers are incentivized to throw games like Fallout and Wolfenstein into Game Pass and what they see from that. So that's what this article is about. Shady, give it to us. Kind of paraphrased, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'll give you guys just the gist. It was earlier in the week on Polygon, I believe, and it was talking to the developer of Laser League and also Pete Hines from Bethesda Games, and why they use Game Pass and what they see the service for and what it has done for their games. And the Laser League guy, it's a small indie game. It's been compared to soccer cars there often, just because it's a similar situation. And he goes on to say that with their game, it's a multiplayer game that has to basically launch day and date with an active player base. And no amount of marketing money with a small game like this can guarantee something like that. Whereas putting it in Game Pass, which already has an established millions of people that are paying money to play games. They're paying money for Game Pass to get access to games specifically, right? Not like buying gold.
At XO, Phil Spencer did confirm millions with an S. Game Pass.
That's right.
So it's doing very well.
That's right. So they said that with a game like theirs being all multiplayer, you needed to have people to play with and not just people that were buying it day one to help support that. So Game Pass provided that with them. They also went on to say that because Game Pass itself is a curated service, which has a rotating group of games that are coming in and out each month, and it doesn't have, right now it's hovering around 200. They advertise minimum 100, but that's not in the thousands. Like every single week on the marketplace, we have dozens of games that come out and just get lost in mix. Whereas with Game Pass, because the list is curated and some of these games get trailers because they're highlighted that they're going to launch in there and show in there, it just brings a lot more attention on a smaller title like Laser League. So they've seen nothing but success with them. He also mentioned that when Rocket League launched, they were given away for free on PlayStation Plus. And he said that back in the day then when that happened, there was no Game Pass service. And the reason that they chose Game Pass this time as opposed to something similar was because they would have rather put their game in a service where people are paying money to have access to video games as opposed to a tacked on freebie, quote unquote, where people are paying their money to technically get access to online gameplay. Their money every month to play online COD. Damn, that Laser League was given to them for free, whereas someone who's paying $15 a month for Game Pass is more likely to check out the new games that come into that. So that was from the smaller dev side of things, is why they like the service. As for Bethesda and Pete Hines, he said that they put Fallout 4 and Doom and
Wolfenstein.
Oh, the name escapes me. Wolfenstein, as well as oh man, it's that other shooter, Rage. They put Rage in there. All of these games have sequels coming out. We just got Fallout, Doom Eternal is coming out, Rage 2 is coming out, Wolfenstein has a sequel coming out as well. I believe it's in March, the co-op one. So they use it as a way to reinvigorate the fan base and get some more engagement in the franchises that are going to come out. And you're more likely to maybe buy Doom Eternal if you give Doom 1 a try and find yourself liking it. So, and they've had massive success with that, they said. They really do enjoy the service a lot. Microsoft themselves have seen massive success in the service. And all around, it just seems like the industry is all on board with Game Pass and similar things out there. This is the future, people.
Hey, well, a lot of people have a problem with Game Pass, even though it does what PS Plus or PS Now does, but it does it correctly, in my opinion. Though not quite the library. You do have a similar amount of downloadable games and arguably a better slate of games as well, especially with the addition of day one exclusives. Game Pass is unbeatable right now, in my opinion. Though Sony have done a lot to bring PlayStation Plus forward, or God damn it, PlayStation Now forward. It's kind of looking good for Game Pass. And this is what we were telling people: like they're more inclined to try games out that they would have never tried before. Therefore, you might buy their next game. Whoa, Doom 2016, a game people still refuse to try. Gosh, just try it. You might be interested in Doom Eternal. It's
right.
$10 a month. It's insane. Colt, I want something from you on this one.
I would have never bought The Observer, but I was really kind of interested in it. And I sat down and played it for about 2 hours. It's really creepy. It's a game that it's not like something I normally play. There's a bunch of games at Game Pass that I've tried, and the Microsoft Rewards has these little quests for Game Pass that are tied in that kind of incentivizes me to try some games that are really cool. And Game Pass is really starting to grow, and it's only about a year old, right?
Yeah,
it's 3. It's almost 3 years old now, they said. But I mean, we all kind of just started recognizing Game Pass over the last year when they put in the first-party exclusives, is when it was on the map.
I think it's a little over a year old. I don't know if it's been around that long.
It's certainly 2. The article said it's approaching its 3rd. It might be on its 3rd.
I think they're referring to Play
It's been 2.
I think they're
referring to Play Anywhere.
Yeah, Play Anywhere is 2015. Yeah, but anyway, no, it's great. And like Dealer said, once those games start building up, like the developers are seeing that value. We want to see more games come to it. I mean, all the first party exclusives are coming. Ashen and Below are probably coming to Game Pass. They just tweeted out yesterday. He's like, "Hey, you want some more games for December for Game Pass?" And that was their little hint. But Ashen's supposed to drop before the end of the year in December. So
yeah, that's what I'm looking
this
forward
week
to playing as well.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Mutant Year Zero. Just came out today, and a lot of people on Reddit have been talking about it, and they're saying that it's a little bit of a gem in Game Pass. It just launched day and date, and a lot of people are liking it. I'm a huge tactics gamer. I love strategy games, the same as Dealer, XCOM style, and I hear it's really good. So
I could touch on that a little bit. I actually I secured a review copy of the game, so I actually did a review on it. It should be going up tomorrow. But yeah, the game definitely is a gem. It surprised me, and it actually looks pretty good. And you got like stealth elements in there, and it's pretty good. I'm not really into those type of games, but it was good. The story was actually decent.
Nah, look at us talking about games on a gaming podcast.
Hell no way.
Hey, I got to give a shout out to over 500 people watching us live already, guys. You guys are the best. Hit that like button. Share this where you share things. We do appreciate it. Let's try to get to 300 for the end of the show. Drago, Game Pass. I know you've discovered a couple different games. Rise of the Tomb Raider was one of them that stuck out, took you by surprise, and you're not really a single player type of guy.
Yeah, Rise of the Tomb Raider was in my intro. I was going to trigger you with because if y'all want to see Dealer get triggered, just mention the phrase "one and done games." Okay. And that was definitely one of them. Got it for Game Pass. Phenomenal value. I'm still waiting for the next one to hopefully be released in the Game Pass. I'll wait for a while for that. And like Shady was saying, man, they got me with Fallout 76. Fallout 4 came, and it was perfect timing. Fallout 4 comes in the Game Pass. I'm like, I never played Fallout 4. Get it for free. Play it. Play the hell out of it. Sucks me right in, and then what do you know, their game comes out months later and I'm buying it. And Hey,
There
kudos
it
to
is.
them, man. Good job.
Yeah, they skull fuck you with Fallout 76. Woo.
Yeah.
Hey, there's
The
some
old bait and switch.
Yeah.
there's some holiday deals going on right now on Xbox One consoles and select bundles, $50 off. So not quite Black Friday levels of awesomeness here, but if you're looking to upgrade, well, hey, $50 off of Xbox consoles, and us trying to save you money. We're just corporate shills. To
Oh,
keep this going.
Amazon right now. Amazon Prime has it for $3.99 right now.
The
X. Yep.
Yeah, so pick that up if you have Prime. Yeah, you need Prime to get it or not?
Yeah, it's a Prime deal.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. I didn't. What do I know? I never know anything. But it says Prime on it. But I mean, they don't have Prime exclusive sales. Maybe they do.
Yeah, they do. They do have deals for just Prime customers that you
It'll
get.
take me a second. I'll check.
However, you could finesse retail and get them to price match it at a different store like Walmart.
Yeah, if it's there, it's there. You're going to get the deal.
Yeah. Go into Walmart and show them that, and they don't know if you're Prime or not, right?
Yeah.
But hey, we've also got some information regarding Xbox's annual gaming revenue, which exceeded 10 billion this fiscal year, which ended June 2018, and apparently people were still in disbelief that Xbox is among its most profitable it's ever been, if not the most profitable, and that's with very little software this year. That is remarkably. That's really, really good. That's what people get to understand.
Is that profit dealer? Is that profit dealer or is that revenue?
Well, let me read this. Let me read how I wrote this down. I might have written it differently, but I have revenue. So either way,
Okay,
that's
good.
10 billion they're bringing back in. So regardless of what they spent, that's 10 billion right back into the division for them to do whatever. And for a brand that's dead and dying and failing and dead already, that's really impressive to me. I think that they're only going to get more aggressive with their spending. Their first party, Sati, is sitting there talking about their plans to expand aggressively with first party. He said that a while ago, and I just wanted to kind of reiterate that, I hate watching and just hearing some clips of some people out there just saying some of the stupidest shit I've ever heard regarding
even last week,
how Microsoft are in trouble and how they're dead and how they're failing, and it's just nuts to me that they can do this well and be doing so horribly. It's like two different realities. And we get the game situation. We've been asking for games for over a year. We understand that. We want more experiences. And they're bringing that. But at the same time, you gotta give them props.
That's what it is. It's a zombie console. Like Xbox is dead, but it's like crawling around and it's still like moving forward. They're freaking buying up studios.
Have no games.
It's buying studio.
People are. I'm sorry. I don't usually use inflammatory, foul-mouthed words, but people are morons. Excuse my language.
Oh my god. Going on this Navi stuff.
Oh yeah, so today we you did touch on the conference call that AMD did the other day where they discussed the AMD APUs should ramp up in 2020. But also in that same conference call, I guess some more information is coming out now. They announced that Navi will compete with the high-end GPUs that NVIDIA has to offer next year. So this is really, really exciting news because there's been different rumors circulating that Navi is just going to be a mid-tier GPU, but now we have confirmation that there are 7-nanometer GPUs coming out next year, which is a month away. Well, we'll get an announcement a month away. It's going to come out sometime in 2019, that they're going to compete with NVIDIA's high-end. So they're going to compete with the RTX 2080 Ti's, the 2080s, the 2070s. And they were also asked about ray tracing, and they responded saying that, when ray tracing is, more in the forefront for games or more mainstream, that they'll be ready with it, with their own software and hardware solution for it. And behind the scenes, we know that AMD is working with Microsoft on ray tracing, but AMD, they like to give, a good product, especially for their consumers. So they don't want a nickel and dime like NVIDIA is doing right now, because, if you have an RTX 2080 Ti, it's a fantastic card. You
got fucked hard on that purchase.
Yeah, it's a fantastic card, but when it comes to ray tracing, at least with the first iteration of it, it was quite poor. Now, Battlefield has an update coming out. It's actually delayed, but it should be coming out hopefully by the weekend or next week, that corrects this and increase ray tracing performance by 50%. So that's a start, but that's that's basically getting us up to 1440p, 60 to 70 frames per second, which is still pretty good for this new technology. But at the
That's
same
not
time, if you bought a $1,300 card, I'm sure you want a game at 4K. So ray tracing, I don't think it's going to be a big thing this generation. I think the next set of cards will do ray tracing at a much better level. And I think AMD is poised to surprise a lot of people because AMD graphic cards have a lot of compute inside of them. That's why a lot of miners picked up their cards. They just can compute more, on the consumer level than what NVIDIA is doing. Now, sometimes it doesn't translate into the games, whatnot, but it is a computing beast, and that's what you need for ray tracing.
I think the tensor cores and the RTX cards are definitely catching up, though. They're in the compute, they're doing much better.
And also with this NVIDIA news, it makes it interesting now what's going to happen with the console, because it's been rumored for the longest time that at least the PlayStation 5 will be using the Navi architecture. So if they're going to be competing with the high end, what NVIDIA has to offer on the PC landscape, that means the Navi GPU is not going to be a joke. Obviously you're going to get a cut down version somewhat in the consoles, but at the same time, it should be very powerful. And if AMD is on track to delivering this, I would say, the next generation consoles will do 4K 60 easily.
I agree.
Yeah, and we're talking about ray tracing too, because I think it's inevitable that it finds its way into console-bound software.
Definitely.
It's the next thing. It's the next thing when it comes to graphics. And with the advent of ray tracing, the PC guys have only the top end of the top end guys, like fucking how many percent? So very few people really in the grand scheme of things now truly have something that really separates them night and day from consoles, at least in one technical aspect. Whereas before, or for most people, you can look at Battlefield 1 or Battlefield 5 on Xbox One X, and then, a PC guy will look at it and be like, wow, that looks amazing. Until some nerds like, that's medium settings. The games look absolutely phenomenal. Like, I don't care what anybody says. These engines are so capable. Medium settings look like insane compared to high and ultra settings to games 2 or 3, 4 years ago. Medium settings are very up there.
I just want to add this too. Microsoft is the one that's really basically doing ray tracing. It's in their DX12 API. NVIDIA is just like using a layer that's underneath it, and it gets, or above it, and they just push the code to it. So I can't see Microsoft not having some form of ray tracing in their next generation console. I'm not going to say it's going to be on the performance of a 2080 Ti or what's going to come after that, but I got to believe they're going to be doing some form of ray tracing and maybe perhaps using the cloud to help do some of the computational, crunch the numbers. So
yeah, that'd be sweet. Ray tracing is legit, man. It looks so good.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean, honestly, it's a console. It's we're lucky that they're going to be as balanced as they're going to be, and it's always good to have your expectations in check. But software is going to bring you more than somebody falling down some scaffolding in the background.
Yeah, that was me.
I got to plug my computer.
You guys put me to sleep for a minute.
Well, if you guys don't mind me saying a little something about the whole ray tracing and all that, as the alarm goes off outside my house, do you guys hear that?
You're good.
Okay, well. The whole point of what they're doing, what I've heard, do you remember that project or the project that EA was working on, building an engine through the cloud?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, apparently Microsoft is working on something like that, and it's basically using the Havoc engine and putting it within the cloud so they can use, and that's why Crackdown took a long time. And apparently EA is working on something very similar where you use the cloud to compute, just like Dee said, compute some of the ray tracing or all those different things that you can just put in the cloud, so it doesn't take a lot of hardware to basically compute it.
We'll see.
That's something I've
cloud
seen.
is just an absolute fantasy to a lot of people because they've only had one metric to go off of, and that's PS Now, which is probably the worst cloud streaming service. Right? Like it's a lot of latency and stuff. So right now people don't give two shits about the cloud because it's not a real thing to them. It's not viable. They're concerned about data caps. You know how people do. They're so afraid until they get it, just like with the Xbox One X. When I was telling people, fucking 2 years ago, hey, this is just gonna work. You're gonna play the games and they're gonna look amazing. You're just gonna get a patch, blah blah blah. So many people were so concerned and they were panicking because it's changed, right?
Mm-hmm.
The cloud is way more concerning to them than this. And good thing is you have a choice. You always will. Microsoft are saying that it will probably never become the main form of gaming, and they are really dedicated to their hardware, but at the end of the day, a lot of people are just, they don't know. They never tried it. They don't understand, or they've been told things that aren't true, or they don't, people that told them that don't understand how far clouds come. But at the end of the day, it's one of those things I think people are going to have to try to understand. Like D's fucked with the Google Stream, right? And that blew the dreads off your head.
Yeah, it made them stand up, man. No, that was incredible, the Google Stream. And like truth be told, I'm not even supposed to be really playing it because I'm in Canada, right? So I'm using a VPN in order to play it, and I'm still not getting lag.
Nice.
So you're cheating.
Jeez.
You're cheating and getting more latency than usual, and you're still.
Yeah,
I gotta say, like what D just said, like we just watched that video that Digital Foundry talked about, all the latency that comes through the cloud service into your TV, into your wireless controller, and like they have like a measurable amount of lag. That sounds bad on paper, but people like D and these other people who've tried the cloud service are saying, "What, D?" Like,
yeah, in actual, like, yeah, I did see that video where I'm sure there is some type of lag,
but what's your experience?
But honest to tell you, it's not perceivable. Like, maybe if you did exactly what Digital Foundry did, you could see it, but otherwise it felt smooth and responsive. And maybe because I was expecting it to be laggy as hell, so maybe that can play a factor into it as well. But as far as I'm concerned, streaming is legit.
Yeah, and it's only going to get better. So Digital Foundry say it's got around 60 milliseconds of latency right now.
I think they're saying 80, yeah.
Or somewhere around there.
Yeah,
so
sure.
I'm sure that'll get much better. And if you're used to playing super low, ultra low response monitor stuff, you probably notice it no problem. But it's been pretty tech focused here, and we know some of you are dying. We get it, but we do want to wrap that up by mentioning the PS5 8K bullshit because we didn't talk about that last week. Forgot about it. But Navi is the reason we're even talking about this Navi thing compared to NVIDIA. I'm talking about Navi, the next generation 7nm architecture from AMD, competing with NVIDIA's best today, right? Now, that was the thing with Vega. People were saying the same thing, and Vega got curb stomped. So we'll see how that goes with Navi. But at the end of the day, Navi is supposed to be the architecture inside the PS5.
Right.
And Microsoft have already said they're going to be the fastest console next generation, or if my theory is correct, they'll have the fastest SKU of the fast console, right? So
I just want to add this though. Yeah, Navi was a disappointment. I have mines underwater, and if you can cool Navi, it does work. Vega, it does work quite well. But the thing where I know that Navi will just be so much better is that it's being shrunken down on a 7nm node. So right there, you're going to get better power efficiency. It's just going to be better without the improvements that they're going to make to the architecture. It would just run better already. So I think they're going to deliver on this. I haven't really known AMD not to really deliver apart from with Vega, to be honest with you. And I think they realized it hurt them, that the Vega thing. It really did hurt them, and I think they're going to come correct. And thankfully, we're not going to have to wait too long. In January, supposedly, pretty much confirmed at CES, we're going to hear all the details.
Yeah, so if Navi is going to be the architecture in the PS5, and they're going to be very capable there on the APU side, Microsoft already said they're going to have the benchmark console for next gen, meaning no matter if they're using Navi, whatever it is, most likely a hybrid, they're still going to be faster than whatever PS5's got. And you're talking some serious performance there for a console. So you're looking at some good power there when you're comparing it to current day cards. Well, obviously you're not competing with $1,200 cards on the desktop side that consume 200 watts by themselves, right? Like that's almost the entire console for the X. So,
but I think this generation kind of put us back in the power talk where it comes to PC, because when the 360 launched, it was more powerful than a lot of PCs and like good price PCs at that time. It was just doing things that those PCs just couldn't do. Obviously, that generation lasts too long, and we know how this generation started. So let's see if these companies can make up from these mistakes and deliver on the next gen visuals that we so much desire.
Yeah. And regarding PS5, real quick, the thing was that people were saying that there was a dev kit running Gran Turismo Sport at 8K, 120 FPS, and I did cover that in a video. And it's a damn stretch. I say that the only way that it's possibly running any kind of dev kit hardware, because keep in mind, developers apparently have some dev kits out there to PS5, is if they're using checkerboarding from like 4 to 6K all the way up to 8K, which would be possible. Keep in mind Titanfall ran at like 6K internally on the X, right? Like it's possible. And then maybe they're doing some kind of blank frame insertion to double the frame rate from 60 to 120. And maybe Sony is like, hey, look, 8K 120 FPS on GT Sport. You know, like that's the only way I could ever see that happening. Otherwise, that is a no-go, no-blow-hole.
I'm willing to bet this was just displayed on an 8K 120 hertz TV, and these fools think that the PS5 is rendering that, which it just isn't.
Well, let's do it the other way. When Forza was being rendered using DX12, Forza 5, remember that on the PCD? They were running it on a Titan, and everyone's like, look, Forza's going to PC. It's running on a graphics card. And obviously it did. But where are those same people talking about this now? Because there's no way that was running on a console.
I don't know. You know what? To be honest with you, ever since the Xbox One X came out, the Sony guys, the extreme guys, they're upset that they don't have the power narrative. So any type of news that the PlayStation 5 is going to be potentially a monster, they're jumping all over it. And the simple answer is
I didn't think power mattered. Why are they Googling? Why are there 15 million plus searches for PS5 every month?
I don't know. You know what? My PlayStation 5 videos do pretty good. People do care about power. That is the truth of the matter. Yep. But to be the simple answer is that this was basically a pre-rendered video that they rendered at 8K and 120 frames per second to display on this new Cletus television that they had. That's pretty much what happened. That they probably rendered this, with some supercomputers, and that's it. Because the piece, I did an example in my video. I did an example like two RTX 2080 Ti cards. These are the top of the line NVIDIA GPUs right now that do ray tracing. If you put both of these together, you still wouldn't be anywhere close to 8K 120 frames per second. So you want us to believe that the PlayStation 5 is going to be pushing 8K 120 frames per second? Come on.
Console optimization.
Hey, so yeah, that's it's pretty interesting. That is a monster display though. Holy shit.
Yeah,
but we do got to give a shout out to everybody rocking out with us. Over 500 people. Hit that like button. Let's try to get 300 for the end of the show. As we move on to Matt Piscatella being called a liar by a bunch of radical fantards that are, man, I don't understand how you can get a guy from MPD, and all he did was say the Xbox One X is selling extremely well, right?
Phenomenally, yeah.
Phenomenally well, right?
Which is a subjective word, sure.
No, it means fucking good. It means really fucking good.
Yeah.
So that's all he says. And now apparently he's paid off, and MPD are paid off by Microsoft, according to some of these turds on Twitter. And Zalker, what does that tell you? Like the level of desperation there?
It just shows that, like we were just talking about, the power narrative matters, and everything that the X has done matters to them, and it irritates a lot of people when they say that, because I know a lot of people that haven't bought a console since the original Xbox. They didn't have a 360, they didn't have an Xbox One or an S, but they bought an X, and they're playing with me now, and they're my good buddies, and they're PC centric gamers, but they did the research and realized how good of a deal the X is. Because one, we knew the video cards were very expensive, for a while because of the Bitcoin thing, and people were just like, man, the best deal is this X. And then when they got it, they were like, wow, this is amazing. So of course it's selling phenomenally well. And then when people hear that, they can't stand it because they've heard that the Pro hasn't sold very well. It didn't. And that's why the manufacturing went down. That's been reported. The manufacturing for the Pro went down, and that's just what happened when the X absolutely obliterates it.
After they reduced production, then it sold out like not too long after.
Yeah, it did. Once they stopped, and don't get me wrong, they still make them, but they slowed down production exponentially because it wasn't selling to the point where they were like, wow, this is worth going with. The X just completely obliterated it. It just knocked it out of the water. And that's what it's doing. That's what happens when you make such a solid game, or a solid system, not just with the hardware, but the software integrated with it.
You know that Rich VTech USA just said in his video yesterday that the X is his favorite console. He says he likes it more than the Pro. He goes, don't hate me, don't hate me. But we've seen a lot of influencers. I don't like using that word, but we've seen a lot of bigger people say, "Hey, I ditched the PS4 Pro on these multiplats, like Red Dead. It's just a good console." And
right,
it's just,
I know.
Well,
yeah, everything's right.
It's not a coincidence though that he's doing that now. If you notice, like when a lot of these media sites start turning, then some of these guys, these bigger YouTubers, will come out and be like, you know what, I actually like it too, even though they spent a year downplaying it, casting doubt on it every single week, right? Like they never knew, they never actually looked into anything. They just said, nope, it's not going to do 4K. Nope, it's not going to be $500 or lower. It's going to be 700, like he said. You know, stuff like that. Such ignorant things like that are common sense that some of these guys get away with saying. And when it's all said and done, it comes out, boom, they're big fans of it, and everyone forgets what they were saying for a year before that. You know,
it's nuts.
And it's crazy how everybody was saying that and it did, you know, the PlayStation did kill it during Black Friday, but from what we're hearing from many reports is that everybody killed it and they were very close to each other. It wasn't like the PlayStation just automatically was like, oh, we sold 16 million more than anyone. No, that's not the way it went down. Like, it was extremely close between Nintendo, Xbox, and PlayStation. Console gaming is doing very well, and the X is one of the main reasons why Xbox is staying in the race now. That's what everybody's seeing, and they can't handle that because, let's be real, the Spider-Man bundle, that's a good damn deal, guys. And it's still, and Xbox had a Minecraft bundle and it still stood tall with it. It's because of the X.
Oh man, that Spider-Man bundle,
guys,
deal.
Spider-Man bundle's selling like crazy. It's going huge. I was just saying, these dudes out here calling out Piscatella or the NPD, claiming out they're either lying or being bought out by Microsoft. I mean,
it's just
the
North
ponies.
America, like
The ponies have got the blinders on, man. The horse blinders are on in full force, dude. I don't know what to say. You can't be making statements like that when they've been spending the whole gen propping these groups up as the be all and end all when it comes to numbers. It's nuts.
Yeah, and you can look at North America and the UK, which have similar. There was really good success for the Xbox, and there was narrow margins across those two countries, but across the rest of the world, like PlayStation is still ahead, 2-1, sometimes 3-1 in some countries. So for Matt from NPD to say that North America, the X is doing phenomenally, there's nothing wrong with saying that. He's looking at the numbers. We don't have the numbers. He's looking at all the metrics.
You know, and people say that PlayStation has such better marketing, and they do from Microsoft. But the one difference I've noticed between the two marketing strategies is PlayStation marketing, they lie their asses off. I can't count how many times they've lied. There was a UK PlayStation Twitter or whatever. Like, they literally said PlayStation is the only place to play 4K. Like, I don't know how you even compete with that.
A video of Red Dead, and they said the only place to play 4K HDR, and they had PS4 Pro. And it's like, first off, Red Dead doesn't even have real HDR. Secondly, it's not 4K on the PS4 Pro. It's 1440p. It basically, well, with checkerboarding, that's horrible.
It's not even 51% of 4K, so you can't even round up.
Thirdly, I had a lot of my PlayStation friends come up to me and be like, what are you going to play when Red Dead comes out? I'm like, I'm not Red Dead on my Xbox. They're like, well, isn't it exclusive? I'm like, no. And like weeks later, I see this picture of a case of Red Dead on a PlayStation game case, and it says exclusive to PlayStation. Like, how do they get away with this crap?
A guy sent me a Australian magazine, and it actually said exclusive PlayStation games. It had Red Dead up there. It had FIFA up there. All kinds of stuff on that page. And I was like, is this real? He said, yeah, I just bought this. I got two of them. Two people from Australia sent me the same picture. And I was blown away. I don't really know, because I do know that Microsoft gets hounded when they have a bunch of developers come up, people from Playground and DICE and all this, and they say, we're going to have the highest quality pixels. And then the chick comes on for our game, we're going to have the best frame rate, blah, blah, blah. And everyone lace that together and act like it's a definitive statement that Microsoft were saying about their console when it was developers talking about their games, right? They can't even get away with that. But Sony talking about playing 4K, Call of Duty World War II, and Star Wars Battlefront 2, when those games run at 3.6 million pixels, 1440p instead of 8 million like 4K, that's a little crazy to me. Chat, let us know what you think about that. They do get away with this stuff. And there was some stuff going around about Microsoft looking to acquire a developer that works with Sony quite a bit, apparently, according to the insider Clobriel, who will apparently tell you himself that he's not an insider, even though he has all the back-end info and the inside info and the Xbox Live APIs, and he leaked MechAssault and and Fable and Perfect Dark and all these other games. He's not an insider, though. That's the first thing he'll tell you. That's what I learned. So, yeah, apparently he's talking about Microsoft looking to acquire a Sony developer, or not a Sony developer, but a developer that is known to work with Sony quite a bit. And there are a few different options here. You've got Ready at Dawn, which is the rumored one, which had their own engine. They made the Order 1886. You've got Bluepoint, who do basically remaster work. They made Shadow of the Colossus, the remaster of the remaster. So there's like 2 of those. And they made what else did Bluepoint make? Anybody else know?
They made the Nathan Drake Uncharted collection.
Yeah, which I have, which is good.
Yeah, that's pretty much their biggest ones that they've brought out recently. That's important.
So they're very technically competent. They don't rush their remasters. They make quality remasters, and they do a very good job at it. And there's some rumors going around that maybe they want to reach out and expand and start building their own IP and stuff. And this could be one they're talking to. So kind of, what are your thoughts here, Zalker, on this immediate topic?
Yeah, so I put a video out about it. And I talked about like the 4 devs that might go in there. You named, a couple of them, and there's like recent news because once this came out, I'm on Reddit looking around, and these people went digging for information. And there's actually on the Ready at Dawn website, they're looking for engineers, software engineers that are experts in DirectX 12 architecture. So a lot of people think it's them. And they've announced that they have a AAA game in development that they have not announced. So they've done 2.
They need to get good at DX12, the API, because that's the thing for Windows, and they're going to be making Microsoft games anyway. So
yeah,
so that's a big clue, though.
I don't know if it's a big clue, but this is like everybody's just like kind of looking at that. And there's the Quantic Dream. Those people, there's been rumors about them, the ones that made Detroit Become Human. Yeah, and then the people that did Supermassive, the ones that did Until Dawn. So those are the 4 that I put like on my videos saying that it might be, and that's what a lot of people agree that it might be, because he said that they've been talking to them for a few months. But the number 1 in the front is Ready at Dawn, is what everybody thinks it is, because they've been very quiet, and after the Order, they've been kind of just not really used by Sony or anybody, and they've been making VR games for Sony. And that's where they've been stuck. And so,
not making money. That's where it's been stuck.
Well, and the VR game they made apparently is very good. It's apparently pretty damn Lone Echo or something like that
in VR.
Wolves will bite your face off. So everybody's looking at them as the big one, especially with the job posting. And yeah.
Well, Shady, you got anything to add here, bud? Okay.
Nope.
Nick.
I don't know, chat. Who do you think it is? Some people are pointing at Insomniac. It's definitely not Insomniac. They're working on Spider-Man 2 for the PS4, most likely.
There's a little Ready at Dawn would be the best pick. I think they made the most graphically intensive game, which I'd love to see them take advantage of the X to use.
Mm-hmm.
Bluepoint makes sense to me because they do, like you said, remasters and stuff. Xbox is full on in supporting games from the past, so maybe this company can come in and give a really nice fresh coat of paint to some of these older titles, whereas the technology is out there where these old games will run, but the new game's visuals will run on top of it. I know Sony just patented technology very similar to that, so I could see Bluepoint fitting really well with Microsoft as well. But if I could vote, if it was up to me, I would take Ready at Dawn.
Really?
Yeah, and Ready at Dawn is apparently and Phil has said this, he loves when his developers are close to each other so they can work together. And Ready at Dawn's apparently like 15 minutes away from Obsidian Entertainment's facility and In Exile's facility. So they're like very close with each other. And Phil has said, and a lot of people have said, that when you work close together like that, you can feed off of each other. So if Ready at Dawn needs help,
shuts those facilities down and steals all my IPs.
Yeah, Phil's gonna walk over there with a can of gas and just freaking burn their building down and be like, we don't need nothing, burning $20 bills and just being like, whatever.
So have you seen this? There's like a panic going on when Microsoft keeps talking about, there's these rumors for them buying studios. And then like this panic today about them possibly buying a studio that works with PlayStation. I took exception to Push Square's article that because they were referencing Clobril and they called him a scuttlebutt, because he's like a Mr. Rumor Boy. And their short article about this possible Sony developer being picked up by Microsoft was just reeked of snark. It kind of surprised me to see an article written from a journalist that sounded so I don't know how you'd say it, but like it just sounded like they didn't even try to hide the fact that they were really threatened by some studio of some sort that's worked with Sony that would be going to Microsoft. So
yeah, we were talking about this, Colt. When this happened, you called me and was telling me about this article, and apparently they're kind of a bigger site. You said, and
oh yeah,
I said, if it came out that something like Iron Galaxy, who do Killer Instinct right now, well, Sony was looking at buying them, right? Which they can do. Remember, Amazon bought Double Helix out from under Microsoft. Microsoft didn't own them. They gave it to them to work on Killer Instinct. They did a good job on it. And then Amazon just bought them up randomly. So they had to transfer everything to Iron Galaxy. If let's say Sony came in and was looking at buying them, we're not going to be like, oh, Sony, you fuckers. Like, we're going to be like, wow, okay. That's a power play. We're not going to get offended like this Press Square fucking website did. Like it's one of those things that just happens. Why get so upset about it, especially when you're running a website out of your basement?
Here's a more recent example, dealer. How about when Epic bought CloudGen from Crackdown 3, and I was like, oh, look at Crackdown, it's gonna fail, it's gonna die if it's not dead already because the engine got sold, and rah, rah, rah. Anytime it happens to Microsoft, it's doom and gloom. If it happens to Sony, it's like, oh, no one cared about that studio anyways. Doesn't matter. You can have them. It's all right.
I heard that game was canceled anyway. Who cares?
It's nuts.
Yep.
Here's a better question for you, though. It's like, how many more studios are they going to buy when this like studio acquisition rampage is over?
All the studios.
Some people have been saying Housemarque. I don't know how you pronounce it. Housemarque. They're the ones that do Resogun and Nex Machina, which is a freaking awesome game. I bought it on Steam a couple years ago. It's like a twin stick shooter with cyber synthwave music that goes to it's just freaking awesome. I don't know if they're one of the possible developers that Microsoft be buying, but like they have really cool, shiny little like arcade games. But I mean,
yeah, I think they're I think they're a little small. I looked them up. They only have like, I think 50 people working in their studio.
Yeah, and they're doing a battle royale ripoff that runs at 60 frames. That looks like Fortnite mixed with PUBG, like right in the middle.
It's an R-type battle royale.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, I mean, do you guys think it's ready at dawn then? Or how many more do you think they're going to go after? How many more do you think we're going to get at E3?
I don't know. At this point, I don't even care. I commented on
you could say 3. You could say 3, and I don't think anyone would doubt that at this point.
Yeah, 1 or 2.
Isn't it interesting, though, how, if any other publisher or company bought 3 extra teams or 3 extra studios, let's say even Obsidian, Ninja Theory, blah, 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 blah. It would be absolutely nuts and people would be hyped to see what they're working on. But Microsoft buy 7 or make 7, whatever, and it's still not enough. I'll be curious to see what they're working on. But at the end of the day, we do got to give a shout out to almost 600 people watching live. Guys, hit that like button. Let's try to get to 300 for the end of the show. Maybe share this wherever you share things. We do appreciate it. We've got some information regarding and the Sony Studio thing. It's really interesting. But when Clobriel he's like, yeah, it's a Monday and it's a boring Monday. Let's make it interesting. And he put that out there. I was like, it doesn't really make it all that much more interesting because once again, it's kind of like the IO interactive thing when he said they're considering it. And then he got mad at people for talking about it like it was
don't make videos. Don't make videos about me. Who said they're considering this?
And he just fucking, it doesn't make any sense. So, if you start leaking this stuff or saying this stuff, and we're not seeing a lot of it. We saw the Obsidian thing, but that was months and months ago when he leaked it. What else is there? We don't know. Like, they could be talking to 1,000 people. What does that mean? Until it happens, I'm not really all that excited because we know they're talking to a bunch of people.
They're talking to everyone, yeah.
Yeah, so who
except for Sean Layden.
Never Sean Layden. They already bought Sean Layden.
Right. Until I hear Microsoft say, this is it, we're done, we're not buying anyone else, I'm always of the opinion that they're out shopping.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what we want. I mean, like in the beginning of the year, do you guys remember Sony expanded a team in San Diego and then they brought Guerrilla Games. They expanded them, I think doubled them, got up to 400 developers. Listen, this is what we want. We're talking about Xbox because it's being announced and it's news and it's pretty damn awesome that they're competing at this level, a level that we didn't even imagine them doing, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, who would have thought it was 5 studios being announced at E3, then another 2 at XO, Like, we want this to happen, and we want Sony to be just as competitive. Everyone, this is not bashing anybody. It's just the excitement.
Yeah. And the thing is, Xbox has a hand up on this because all these studios that put out their games, guess what? They're getting put out day and date on Game Pass. They're now a first-party studio, and what PlayStation cannot compete with that. They don't have this service. They don't have it.
Well,
that's why this is so much. That's why this is huge news. That's like someone in the chat said, "Oh, I guess we wait for studios more than games." Well, studios make games, people. They make games, plural.
We've said that too. Like, somebody in the chat really said that. You're like more excited for studios and games. Where the fuck do you think games come from, dumbass?
Yeah.
From the storks,
like,
drop them off.
You get tired of us talking about power, even though we ask for games and we talk about power. That's the difference between us now and a lot of motherfuckers back in 2014. Was all people cared about back then was, we don't care if we don't have that many games or great games, because all the multi-platform, that's all I heard. They were never asking for more games and experiences at the same time while talking about that. While we're talking about the power, plus we've been asking for more games and experiences for the past, 2 years now. So that's the big difference there. I mean, you got to have studios to make games, like we've said before. Like, duh, we're going to get excited for this shit. So what is it? You want us to go back to power, or you want us to be talking about studios? Because we want games. Make up your mind. Or we can mix it up, salsa night. So
they want us to play Twister. The Twister, what's the narrative today, Twister?
I don't know. At the end of the day,
what the fuck?
Inappropriate touching.
Narrative Twister.
Hey, Zalker, give us the deets on this Rocksteady game here. Now, there was some stuff that went down. There was some specs crap leaked for a Superman game, correct? But that didn't quite turn out to be what was going on, right?
Yeah, everybody thought it was to be Superman World's Finest, which is like a Batman and Superman game. So people thought co-op, and you're going to play as Superman and Batman. But then, Rocksteady came up and said, "Shut the fuck up! It's not that." and they said, "We're not going to be at the award show. We're going to show it when it's ready." Kind of pulling a little page out of Blizzard, saying, "Hey, when the game's ready to be shown, we'll show it." And it is going to be they have said, or people have known, that it's a DC property or a comic book property. It's just going to be a property that nobody really pictured seeing. So you got to think team based is what we're thinking. And, probably, co-op in it. So whatever has team based, think of movies, shows, whatever. Teen Titans.
Change the word team to squad based. I'll say that.
Yeah, squad based. There you go. Yeah, good job. Yeah, squad based games.
Geek Squad.
Yeah, Geek Squad. Yeah, not crazy squad of people.
You guys are so dumb. You're like, we're not going to tell you. We're just going to tell you.
Well, apparently,
Justice Squad.
I mean, we've been told some stuff on the inside. We're not technically allowed to say things, but we've mentioned it before on the show that it could be a possibility. And if it's true, man, I would rather see more, because Batman games don't occur frequently enough for me to be worn out on them. Like, oh man, I've had so much Arkham, I'm done. Like they come every several years now, and apparently now they're not coming at all from Rocksteady. And they're working on this game.
I'm just saying, give Superman his limelight, okay?
It's not Superman.
I was all for it, man. I was all for it. I want to see what Rocksteady could do. What's this deal with this Warner Brothers Montreal game that was out there? They're the ones who made Arkham Origins in 2013. We haven't seen anything from them since. There's some kind of something, right?
So, they posted a picture of a developer working there saying, "I love my job" or something. And they had a picture, icon of the Court of Owls, which, if you haven't read it, fucking read it. It's written by Scott Snyder. He had a run for the New 52 in the comic books, and he brought the Court of Owls into the Batman lore and the Rogues Gallery, and instantly they become a classic, just as good as Joker, just as good as anybody.
Knows what the Court of Owls is, though. Can you tell them?
Oh yeah, so the Court of Owls are basically this organization that has been living in Gotham and basically like corrupting it from the inside for generations. And Batman has heard about them before, and he's kind of like, he's looked into them and he found nothing. And then one day they have the audacity to basically take over Gotham, and he finds out who they are and they fuck him up. So I'm not going to spoil a lot of stuff. It's like a secret society. Yeah, they call themselves the Court of Owls, and they have assassins called the Talons that come after you, and they like just kill you in the night. And they're like just as good of like combat as Batman. I'm not going to spoil anything else, but if that's the main villain, I'm instantly buying that game. I don't care. I'll step over Shady to get to it and punch him in the same time.
I mean, if it's a Batman
Shady's
game,
Punch him in the face.
6'9".
if it's a Batman game, it's day one anyway for me.
Oh yeah, it is. But the Court of Owls are going to be actual cool enemies that give you a fight. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're going to be fighting you martial arts, like kind of like the Deathstroke was in Origins, but just there's so many of them. So I hope it involves the Bat family, because in the story it does involve the whole entire Bat family to get rid of them.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Like a Batman.
That's
But when everyone's
I'm down with
special,
that.
no one's special. Just remember that.
yeah.
That's right.
That's
Thanks,
Like
Star
a
Wars.
Batman.
Yeah, so I don't know. So that's the latest on Rocksteady and Arkham Origins developer. I'm hoping that we get a Batman game in the next year. It's been a while since Night was supposed to come out in 2014, got delayed to early 2015, and it's been several years. So I'm looking forward to seeing an Xbox One X enhanced Batman game that's had a lot of time, some great side missions, hopefully. And apparently this Rocksteady game, they're saying it's supposed to be a games as a service type game, but so many people don't even know what that means, Like, it got an update after launch. It's a games as a certain. No, it's fucking most likely it's unfinished is what you mean. So, hopefully that's a finished, full-fledged Rocksteady quality 90+ meta product. Keep in mind the first two Arkham games, one was a 92 on Metacritic and the other one got up to a 96. These are legendary games, so I think it was on the PS3 again, a 96. So phenomenal games, absolutely top notch. So, Shady, you got anything to kind of cap that subject off?
Oh, I'm excited, man. Give me some more of that Batman game. It's just like, I don't know, double, maybe even triple down on that Batmobile gameplay. You know what I'm saying? I want more of it. Woo!
I don't know, man. That's a
it.
little
I'm
bit.
kidding.
I'm kidding. Yeah,
I'm
the
kidding.
Batmobile was definitely forced at night a lot.
Owl Batman.
No,
Hey,
that'd be
we
sweet,
got-
man. I haven't really gotten into the Court of Owls. Sorry, man. I haven't gotten into the Court of Owls,
good.
but Secret Society stuff, I'm sold. Illuminati confirmed. Shady's interested.
There you go. The Game Awards. Apparently, the Avengers directors are presenting something there, right?
Yeah, they're showing up, and people are thinking it's either the Avengers game or it's going to be the Avengers trailer for 4. Apparently, leaks were supposed to come out today, but they stopped it out of respect for the president that passed away, Bush, because his funeral. So they didn't want attention to go there. So apparently, they're going to release either the trailer or the game at the Game Awards.
They don't want to steamroll
As a
the
gamer.
funeral.
As a
they
gamer,
don't-
what would you like to see, Zucker? Would you rather see the game get shown off or see a trailer that we'll all see anyways?
As a greedy
one?
bitch, I want both. No, but I would honestly, I can wait for the trailer for the movie. I want to see what the game is because they have the A team on it. They've announced it like what 3-4 years ago, was it? Like
Mr.
it's
T?
time.
Mr. T is the head.
Yeah, the A2, yeah. And the van they rolled up, they're like, we got it. So yeah, I want to see the game. And it's a Game Awards, so let's see the damn game.
Yeah, for those who don't know, that's Crystal Dynamics' next project after Rise of the Tomb Raider. So they didn't do the PS4 port or the PC port. They did the Xbox One version and bailed for that Avengers project years ago. And we will see something from the Avengers game in the next year, I would imagine. Though both Rocksteady and the Avengers game is apparently slated for next-gen hardware. So if that's the case,
2
maybe
years.
it's coming out 2020. Maybe we'll see it a year early at E3, and then it'll come out the next year. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows?
I would definitely like to see it at 60 FPS on next-gen consoles, though, right, D?
Yes, I would.
Yes, for sure. We've also got Obsidian making an appearance at the Game Awards as well, Zucker. What's the deal there?
I'm pretty sure they've talked about maybe announcing their new game, but I don't think it's not gonna be an exclusive. I think it's a game that they've been working on for a while. It's gonna be multi-plat. I would like to see if it's gonna go to Game Pass though. That'd be something to check out. But yeah, that's their game. That's a good game that they've been working on, and it's I think their last game before they move on to basically working on the game that they have unannounced, a game that was a factor in Xbox buying them.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard a couple of weird rumors surrounding this game. One, that it's in space, some kind of RPG. 2, that it's out for Fallout 76's launch, apparently. And 3, I did kind of maybe hear back in the day, don't quote me, but it's going to happen, that whatever game this is was a part of the deal of Microsoft acquiring Obsidian. So it might not be multi-plat. My money on a bet wise wouldn't be over there, but I think it's a possibility this could be exclusive, maybe.
Exclusive,
huh?
I'll get some Chivos on the exclusive.
That's a
that's a good idea, Zucker and Shady, to put it on Game Pass. You know, since they kind of struck the deal with 2K, I think it was, or one of those developers.
Yeah, it was 2K.
Yeah, to see them, Microsoft push it onto Game Pass since it's one of their new studios. But you know, I mean, just today, Ninja Theory just put physical copy of Hellblade out for PlayStation and Xbox. If you want to buy a physical copy of Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, you know, that's just kind of stuff that kind of carries over after the acquisition. So,
yep. And that game hit 1 million sale before 1 million sold before it went digital and physical, right? It did decently for being such a small game with $10 million budget. It actually did pretty well.
It's Take-Two, by the way, not 2K.
Yeah, I know. I always mix those two up.
Yeah, I messed them up too, but Van City got it. Thanks, buddy, in the chat.
What is the difference between Take-Two and 2K? I thought
you're asking the people that get confused by them. You're asking the
Take-Two works with the Grand Theft Auto and the Rockstar team.
Maybe Take-Two own 2K.
2K
the other way around, I bet.
Oh,
yeah.
Either way, it's the same damn thing.
Who cares?
Same damn thing.
What I want to know is, what does out for Fallout 76's lunch even mean? Like, are they going to make the same type of game, or are they out to like screw people with their duffel bag pre-orders?
Oh, let's hope it's the first one. God damn.
Yeah, let's hope. Hey, Phil Spencer, speaking of out, he's apparently spending some time at the Ninja Theory studio. And we also heard from Matt Booty at XO that you're going to see some of these games soon. Ninja Theory is rumored to be among the first that you're going to see. What do you think? So Phil Spencer's probably over there playing a new Ninja Theory exclusive right now. What could
Limbo 2?
Limbo 2, yeah. No, Winnie the Pooh. Winnie the Pooh, Christopher Robin Returns or some shit. Hey, Colt, what do you think? What Ninja Theory game do you think they're... wouldn't it be crazy if they're like, yeah, we're finishing Scalebound?
Well, I mean, I've said that a bunch of times because it almost just seems to make sense. Pick that garbage up and fix it. I don't care. I don't want that game. I have no idea what they're making. It's like one of those things. Like, I do these videos about upcoming games for these studios, and I can't pull something out of thin air. You know, I'll tell you what they're not making is I don't think they're making Perfect Dark.
They better not be. Chat, let us know what you think Ninja Theory are working on right now. Very good chance Phil was just playing their game a few days ago, spending time at their studio. He's got to be checking in on progress. And unlike Platinum Games, who did do what was Scalebound, they're probably not missing deadlines and finishing 8 other games in the time it took them to finally get fired from Scalebound. So
with Microsoft's money, yeah.
So you're talking about good.
Just pick up that garbage and make something out of it. Hey, Mom, I made this from some garbage. I hope you like it. No one wants anything made from garbage. Kill Scalebound. Just keep it dead.
Kiloki 514 says Enslaved 2. Yeah, right. I wish they would push the enhancement. That's a game you guys should check out.
Yeah, you guys are frauds. I think they should do another new IP, some radical idea they've always wanted to do.
Yep.
You know, these guys can make whatever they want. There's no reason for any developer to do a Perfect Dark or anything. Like, just make something completely new, you know?
Yep.
Something entirely
new is scary, dealer.
Unless
it's undefined. New could be trash.
Unless it's Mech Assault. Apparently, Microsoft we're talking to the Mech Warrior studio or some crappy recently, according to Jess Gordon. And they could be talking.
Nailed it.
They could be talking to them about maybe, hey, you got some experience working on mech type games. As Clobriel, the non-insider said, we're actually Mech Assault right now to be coming back. And maybe you guys want to work with us and build a Mech Assault for us. I think that since there are so few games like this, there's a lot of fans of Mech Assault, Chrome Hounds, Mech Warrior. There's very few of these games left. And if this one is done properly, dump a bunch of money into it, state-of-the-art visuals, team-based, squad-based combat, tons of customization, just state-of-the-art visuals and technologies. Like, they could really bring something back with this and then add, like, Mech Assault with Big Battle Royale mode would actually make sense.
Yeah.
What do you think, D-Batch?
Oh, that'd be awesome. That'd be exactly what the Xbox brand needs. First of all, that's a classic game. I've been waiting for a sequel, and I think a lot of people for like the longest time. And it's looking a little bit more likely now. I think that's a great candidate. That's a game that would be fresh if it came out again, especially with a battle royale mode. Are you kidding me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, imagine launching like tactical nukes off of like nuke launchers on your mech's back, and you're out in a massive map, and 100 mechs out there, and you just see these nuclear explosions off in the distance, these tactical nukes going off, smaller nukes. There's so much stuff that they could do there, but it's just important for all these new games. Take your time, put in all the effort, polish the hell out of it, surprise and delight. Much like Red Dead did with the level animation and quality there, the polish, a lot of people didn't expect that. In terms of just how intricate these animations are, the little stuff makes a difference, man. I really want to see them do some next level stuff, but that stuff takes time. Speaking of time, Phil Spencer was also talking about XO here recently, and he did say, they're always looking at feedback. He knows people are wanting some game announcements, and he's taking all that stuff in for next year's XO. I still think that people had their expectations really high for XO 18. As we said on this podcast, like, it is a fan event. It's basically a fan fest. And the fact that they even unveiled 2 studios there is really cool. They did unveil Rare there, but I think this is probably their best XO ever, honestly. I mean, that's how little I expected of XO. But yeah, he's already looking out for the next one and taking all that feedback into account. Phil's always, these guys, Microsoft executives are so much more active than any other executive.
Oh my gosh.
On Twitter and stuff, like Sean Layden, and you don't hear from any of those guys on Twitter, really, do you?
No, they're not. I don't mean to sound negative. They're just not in touch with their fan base like that. Like, you've got Greenberg and Ibarra and Phil Spencer routinely keeping people up to date, and of course they have Major Nelson, who's like the spokesperson. But I mean, there's a lot of talk, and I mean, just today we got 3 more back and pack games because Microsoft is just talking to the community and letting them know what's going on. I mean, I know we're waiting for events, but there's once a week there's something coming out. There's some news piece being pushed out by Microsoft for Xbox.
What were those back and pack games?
The Darkness. Oh crap, I can't remember the second one. And Duke Nukem Forever. Oh. Apparently they're all $4 a piece, which they're normally 15 to 20 on the store.
I think Kingdoms of Amalur or something, right?
Well, that was just the other day. Yeah, Kingdoms of Amalur was pushed the other day, but today was The Darkness and Duke Nukem Forever and another game I can't remember because I've never played it.
Kingdoms of Amalur was really good. It's one of those giant RPGs that actually plays amazing. A gem.
And it was developed by Kurt Schilling.
Oh, he paid the price.
He really hates those entitlements, but he used his state's taxes to make his game. I just wanted to point that out. We don't really never mind. Okay.
The Bureau Classified. Ooh, I didn't realize.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
XCOM, yeah. And during that Phil Spencer interview, the thing I actually liked is he actually spoke about E3 during that one. And they asked him, the dumbest question, like, oh, why are you going to E3? And he's just like, kind of look at them. And he said that the one thing that he likes the most is that it's one of the few places that the world of the media like gets together, and not just the world of media, but the American media. He said that that's something that like every year he looks forward to because it brings people together. And he said there's Gamescom, but that's in Europe. So he's like, this kind of feels like a home, like, we're going home. E3 is kind of like where we are because they are an American company. And I found that pretty cool, like just something I never really thought of. And for him to say that, I was like, yeah, man, that is kind of cool. It is the biggest event here in America for gaming.
Well, hey, for everyone listening, hit that like button. Let's try to get to 300 for the end of the show. Anything else anyone wants to bring up before we kind of head out of here at all?
Did you want to talk about the Steam and how Epic is going out
trying to curve stomp Steam?
Yeah, Epic is finally trying to give Steam some competition.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so Steam's apparently hasn't had any competition whatsoever. So Epic is charging developers less and having their own platform and their own store to put games on. I think Steam charges 30%, and Epic is only charging 22%.
We were just talking about this, Soccer, last week. Remember, we had a conversation about
that's a big.
Oh yeah, I remember.
And another thing, I mean, I really like Steam, but what my biggest gripe is, you have to wait until like the summer sale to get really good deals. Like you can get every game cheaper at Green Man Gaming, CD Keys, G2A, like Humble Bundle. It's crazy.
Well,
So-
people think that every
Good.
game launches way cheaper on PC. Like that used to be the case. It would be $10 cheaper on average day one, like on Steam
Not on
sometimes. But now it's not. Like games are
Yeah.
$60 on PC now.
Yeah,
Oh.
Steam tends to just have their, their fall sales or their autumn sale, whatever, summer sales. That's when you get the discounts. I'm noticing that retail price is exactly the same digitally on Steam. So
Yeah,
I just
day
go
one.
to like CD key sites and get my keys there. Yeah, it's. I don't understand how, to be honest with you, how digital can be priced the same as the physical copy. You don't have to
Yeah.
manufacture the game. You don't have to do the cases, the booklets, the disc. Like you're saving so much cost.
to Steam because you're paying 30% to Steam still. And I sure the
Yeah,
physical's
but
a
on-
little bit more, but on top of that, a lot of developers have spoken anonymously because they don't want to get under Steam's or Valve's like bad shit list apparently, and they've said that they have no idea how Steam works with the algorithm of putting their games on the front page during sales. Like developers have straight up yelled at them and is like, yo, we paid you this money and actually paid for advertising on top of it, right? To get on the front page and our game's not up there. And
There
they
you
did
go.
it
That,
anonymously.
That goes back to our example earlier about Game Pass and why that Laser League developer enjoyed the service was because when you go into Game Pass, you are guaranteed a certain level of marketing, basically, and advertising. Like people know you're there. It's not like Steam where you come out and 5 minutes later you're lost.
Yeah.
Oh, good point.
And that,
I
that's
think
a
like
big
that.
thing.
Xbox has like around 2,000 titles you can play on Xbox One. And instead of coming out and being in a sea of 2,000 games, you are instantly put in this curated Game Pass section of 150 to 200 games, and you're much more likely to be seen there, right? That's what we mean by that curation there. So that's a good point as well. Valve, they've had some serious stuff go on here lately. Bethesda have recently said Fallout will not launch on Steam either. They're trying to do their own thing.
Yeah.
And that 30% is a lot of money. You sell 1 million copies, let's say you make $100 million, which is, pretty easy for Fallout to do, no problem. 30% added to that just by not selling those copies on Steam is $30 million more dollars. Just by not releasing on Steam, that's a big decision there.
Competition is good. This is one of those big examples where that competition is driving prices down for us, the consumer. I don't own Steam. I don't have stock in Steam. I don't need to protect the Microsoft store or the PSN store. I want my prices to be as low as I can. I want the best deal I can get possible. Like Game Pass really helps push games that like Strange Brigade.
Well, it's very Steam-like. It really is. Steam was created with the backbone of Counter-Strike. Epic is creating this with the backbone of Fortnite. It's very cool, like seeing that from like what you saw years ago, 15 years ago, whenever Steam opened to now. Like it's just they know Epic is smart. They saw the market and they're like, yeah, we can do this and make way more money than we're doing now with just Fortnite.
Well, D, I know you spend a lot of time on PC, more than all of us combined, probably. You see the sales on Steam and on Origin and all this stuff. I would argue that the sales on consoles now are comparable and sometimes are just as good, if not better, than the Steam sales here recently in the past couple of years.
That's awesome.
I agree.
And
Before
gone
he
again.
jumps the mic, I've seen the same.
I would say you're right. I'm going to say that you're right. That for a little while, I think when the generation first started, the Xbox sales and the PlayStation sales were nowhere near what
Agreed.
Steam has. But now the difference is that Steam doesn't have a lot of the games that Xbox and PlayStation are putting on sale, so they can't even put them on sale. But the sales are better.
Yeah, Black Ops 4 and Battlefield 5 just went down to $30 this past week, didn't they?
Yeah, and they're not on Steam.
That's on console. That's a brand new digital game.
Yeah, it was on Amazon. I think it was a 1-day deal of the day, but still, that's a great price. The game's pretty new still.
Yeah, back when you used to say that you can't compete with PC sales, like that's not always true. Like consoles are finally getting a little more reasonable, and that's good.
They've gotten really reasonable, like fucking
Black Friday sales. Holy crap!
Yeah, I was asking you, D. I don't know where you disappeared to, but you spend a lot of time on PC, and you've got to see these sales on Xbox and PS4 competing easily with Steam sales now.
Oh yeah, definitely. Even sometimes surpassing it. To be quite honest with you, I've noticed a lot of the games recently that've been on Steam sale. Most of them have been quite old. They're not like the newer titles where the the Xbox and especially the PlayStation 4, they have some phenomenal deals on some of the new games. Like Spider-Man's already discounted heavily. Forza got a good discount. There's a lot of games out there that are new games that substantial amount off. So.
Yep. Yeah, and you've got the whole, if you're into physical, you got that physical market driving down those prices over there. And then to add to that, on console, you don't have to go to 3 or 4 vendors to play your games. You go to the store on your Xbox or PS4, buy the game, right? Whereas on PC, I've got an Origin account, I got a GOG account, I got a Steam account, I got a Uplay account. I'm going to have a Bethesda account if I ever decide to buy
Microsoft Store.
Yeah, I got Microsoft
and
Windows.
You can buy those digital games from Amazon or different sites, and then they go into one store on your console on PlayStation or Xbox.
Yeah, today, the little guy, he wanted to play Overwatch with his friend. He's like, so can I get Overwatch? I was like, okay, where should we get it? Should we get it on Steam or should we get it on BattleNet? We ended up getting it on BattleNet. But I'll say one good thing.
You have to. It's not on Steam.
Oh, it's not even on Steam. Oh, wow.
Nope.
Okay. The one good thing I will say about Steam, though, there is an option to launch all your games from within Steam, even though some of these
on most games, yeah.
So
Microsoft
that
Play Anywhere won't.
But nonetheless, to remember all the different passwords and all the different accounts for these games, it does get a little ridiculous.
It does. But yeah, I think some good stuff is definitely headed our way, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the show, guys. It's a little more technical this week. If you didn't check out our last show, I'll link that down below. And we do appreciate you guys rocking out with us. Almost 600 people tonight. We do appreciate it. Hit that like button on your way out as we do some outros. And we're going to start with Titan Drago. Thanks for joining us, bud. I just shot you. You shot me a message, and I just said, hey, you want to join us tonight? And you said, yeah, fuck yeah. So thanks for joining us, bud.
Hell yeah, I'm coming on, man. Fuck yeah.
What have you been playing? Where can people find you?
Oh, man, thanks for having me on, dealer. I appreciate it. But I've been playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Red Dead 2. I've just hit the 5th chapter or whatever, so I'm getting close to beating that. So,
the pointless chapter.
Is that it? No, that's not too encouraging. But anyways,
the best chapter.
But anyways, you can find me at Titan Drago on everything, Xbox Live, Twitter, and YouTube, people, where you will always see me bringing the common back to sense.
Oh, wow. I thought you said comment like you're going to clean some toilets or something.
Common!
The comment.
I'm bringing the comment. Who left this shit stain? Hey, Hey, Shady Bud, what have you been playing? Where people find you?
I have been playing a lot of Battlefield 5, listening to Rammstein at wholly inappropriately loud levels. All I can say is I hope my neighbors like hardcore German industrial rock and the sound of gunfire ringing out and blood-curdling women's death scream on the front lines of World War II. You can find me on Twitter at the Sesh Empire. On Xbox, I'm So Shady. It's been a blast, guys. Everyone listening, thanks for coming out. I'll see you again next week. Peace.
Good shit, brother. We've also got D-Batch, man. What you been playing? Where people find you?
I've been playing Mutant Year Zero. The review should be coming out tomorrow, so look out for that. Also, too, you can catch me on Twitter at D_Batch and on YouTube at DBatch. And I will be giving a copy of Mutant Year Zero away on Twitter, so stay tuned for that. And also check out the video I did today on AMD discussing how they're going to compete with the RTX GPUs for the next generation.
Good shit. Hey, we've also got Colt Eastwood, bud. Where you been playing? Where people find you?
I haven't been playing anything. I'm waiting for my code for Just Cause 4 to unlock. Man, I hope that game's good. I just finished.
Has it unlocked yet? Isn't the game out?
I ordered it from Best Buy. It's a long story.
But explain it. You got it.
Yeah. This is. I mean, it's kind of cool.
Really good deal though.
Best Buy had the regular version and the gold version, which is $80. And then under that, they had another gold version that was $40. It was a mistake. So a couple people, we went ahead and bought it. So we should have gotten it Sunday night. And here it is in about 3 hours will be the final time when it should unlock. And so my order still says processing. So I'm going to wait until that. And if I don't get the $40 deal, I'll just buy it for $60. But yeah, it's crazy.
Colt, you got to commit to the finesse, man. You got to commit.
What do you mean commit to the finesse?
You gotta, if you don't get that code, you gotta say, God damn it, where's my code?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You say, gosh, nabbit, where the hell's my stuff?
I guess I should. I'm just thinking I'm going to be busy doing the dishes. It's crazy. I finished like 100-hour playthrough of Red Dead Redemption 2, went right back to Odyssey that I had to put on hold, and I put like 10 plus hours into that and beat that like the very next day. So like I had to like kind of take a day off. Like it was crazy. It was pretty awesome. So it's been an amazing like fall for gaming. I've been having so much fun.
Hey, Zuckerberg, what you been playing? Where can people find you?
Yeah, I've been playing Red Dead. I am pretty much going to be done with the game. I think I'm going to go over to God of War. I've been playing some Rocket League, some Call of Duty, of course, and I'm going to check out that Mutant Year Zero. I want to play that. I like tactical games, so I'm going to jump on that. You guys can find me at Zalker87 on Twitter, and I'm at 299 subs on YouTube. Can we get to 300? Man. Somebody just go click that subscribe button. I'm sorry, I had to. That 299 just irritated me. I'm like, you mother.
I'm going to look at that right now.
Just to add to what Stalker said.
I'm going to go unsub.
Yeah, I lose 99.
He's really at 299. One of you guys step up to the plate and subscribe to his channel. I want to see it changed.
Zucker, that's terrible. Let's pretend that I were to say that I'm only 3 followers away from 500 on Twitter. Let's pretend I said that. It'd be weak, so I won't say.
But you did.
Okay, I'll give you 5 more seconds, and I'm hitting refresh. Somebody better step up to the plate.
Shut up.
Yeah, we better see that number drop down to 290.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for.
Zucker, you did it, baby!
You're welcome, buddy. You're welcome, buddy.
Awesome.
Oh, that UD, you sexy bitch. You sexy bitch.
Hey, just I what Zalker said about Rocket League. Just if you guys don't know, today Rocket League got its Xbox One X updates. For those that don't know.
Oh, no, that was yesterday, man. I played that bitch 4K
4K
60, man. It was fucking beautiful.
4K 60, like that's a fucking accomplishment on the X. Jesus Christ. Sitting there playing fucking all these Forza Motorsport 7 at 4K 60 Ultra PC setting. Rocket League's 4K 60.
Super lucky stale.
Better be goddamn 8K downsampled 60. Fucking Titanfall hitting 6K. Jesus. They did add HDR though, right, Zucker?
Yeah, they did add HDR, and for that game, it's really cool. Like they have different wheel designs and stuff. It really makes it stand out. It was an instant like change for me when I turned it on because dealer knows when I play Rocket League, I'm very calm and I play it all the time. And yeah, the colors were amazing.
Until your buddy screws you over, then you yell into the mic while we're trying to talk about something else.
Yeah.
It never happened.
Zucker's got hemorrhoid rage.
Yes.
So I got everyone here, right? I think.
Yeah, you're all good.
Speaking of Just Cause, I actually got Just Cause, and if you're on the fence, really watch a lot of reviews because my first impressions aren't the greatest. But keep in mind, I'm not the type that would play Just Cause. I picked it up, and just on a whim. So my experience was a little weird. I'm not used to seeing Jaggies on Xbox One X games, so my first impressions was like, is this enhanced? Made sure it was enhanced. It was enhanced. Character models look 360-ish a lot of the times. I'm just being honest. This game costs money, and I'm getting, maybe if you're having fun with the game, that's great. But from my impressions, definitely the visuals aren't what I expected in some areas, but in other areas, they're absolutely phenomenal. The explosions look phenomenal. GPU accelerated particles, frame rate's much better. Plays great. But
the third one's at like 900p. It just looks really chunky.
Yeah, HDR is really good on the LG OLED. It looks absolutely phenomenal. Should hold up well. I could tell it's one of the better implementations. What I'm trying to say. So just kind of approach it cautiously. Look into it. Check into the reviews. If you're a Just Cause fan, you'll probably really like it. Apparently, it's not too different from the last one. But I will say it was kind of wonky and buggy as well. Like I went up to a group of animals that were at a puddle, like a little thing of water, and I walked into the water, and they kind of just were chilling there.
You're used to Red Dead.
Well, it looks like, and not that I'm used to Red Dead. It just looked like a taxidermist was there before me and killed them all. And stuff.
Immersion is not Just Cause's strong suit, dealer. It's
I don't give a shit what its strong suit is. If it's got animals, they should be real, right? So I walked into one and pushed it, right, like with my character. And then all of a sudden, like 30 seconds later, after I'm next to them, they come alive and they start moving and shit. So I think it's probably been patched since then, but I'm just, No reason to damage control. I don't own any fucking stock, and I don't own any Just Cause 4 stock, right? So I'm just just be aware.
Who are you
that
pointing fingers at over here?
it
Me?
might need bitch ass shit. It might need it might need a patch or two. That's all I'm saying. So if you're on the fence, maybe hold off until the December sale, where it will be undoubtedly on sale.
But apparently it is running stable, which is super important for the people
Yeah.
that suffered through 3.
Much better performance at higher
I
fidelity.
was just about to say that the performance in 3 was just horrendous. Even on a good rig, it was just really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Just Cause. I'm actually going back through the Shadow War DLC as well. I never finished that. I'm having a blast there. Odyssey. I want that DLC coming out to be a big completed thing, but instead it's like 3 chapters, like Spider-Man, I guess. And I don't know, but I'm really looking forward to get back into Odyssey as well. But whatever, I'm digressing. Thank you guys for rocking out with us. Hit that like button, share this bitch somewhere. We do appreciate it. And we are getting out of here, guys. It's gonna be good talking games. Check out the links down below. Patreon giveaways. We got tiers for creators and so much more there. Got a video coming out. Probably not tomorrow, Thursday. I've been working on that all day today, so be on the lookout for that. Check out the last stuff and follow all these guys on the show. Subscribe to them, support their content as well. We are out, guys.
Later, everybody.
I jumped in twice.
Peace.
I jumped out twice.